Good evening. Welcome to the Air Conservation Commission meeting. It's Thursday, May 28th, 2026, meeting in Town Hall. In attendance tonight, we have member John Schmallenberger, Conservation Agent Heather Hansen, member George Bacon, and outgoing Vice Chair Mark Phillips on his last day with us as Commissioner. And me, Jessica Gino, Chair. So, before I forget. First on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
We actually have two changes to the agenda. We do not have the meeting minutes of the May 14th meeting, so we will not be voting on those. And the request for determination for 50 Deer Run will be at another date. The applicant could not make it this evening.
Okay. Okay. George, will you make a motion?
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Opposed? Okay. So, next on the agenda is continued public hearing for the notice of intent for Sawyer May LLC, Orion Park Drive.
Yes, we are still awaiting to hear back from Natural Heritage regarding this project. So Mr. Joe Catella has kindly requested a continuation to the next meeting on June 11th. I will try to reach out to Natural Heritage as well to see if I can figure out where they are with that project so we can get it moving along.
Okay.
Are they just swamped or what?
I don't know. It's the state and it's conservation staff. They're probably just understaffed.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a quick meeting.
It is.
Yes.
I have updates, so that's good.
George, would you care to make a motion to continue?
Motion to continue the hearing to June 11th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Next up is the continued public hearing for notice of intent DEP file number 100-0502 for 153 Oak Ridge Drive. And tonight we have with us, state your name.
Brandon Ducharme with David E. Ross.
Okay. And we did a site walk this last Saturday. And I believe we did not see anything remarkable. It was just getting straight where everything was. George, Mark, do you want to, anything we had to comment? Heather, anything on this?
I'm going to pull up the plan. Oh dear.
And did you have anything for us?
What's that?
Did you have anything new for us?
No.
No, I think we should just go over what occurred at the site visit, since that's not during a public meeting.
Yes. So,
And we can figure that whole aspect out. And then I will share the plan. So, oh, I put the cube in.
okay, so at the site walk, we looked at an area was marked out in orange showing where building materials would be stored, as I believe. Then we were told there would be a dumpster in the driveway to take away excavated materials. We saw the area where the
there we go.
addition would be put in with the sonotubes, and we saw the area, well, where there's an existing garage that would be taken down, and then that old foundation taken up and then replaced with a new foundation in the exact same location. Anything to add?
No, so just so we know, on this plan that was submitted for the notice of intent, because Brandon did email me this afternoon asking if he needed revised plans, and I didn't think that was necessary. But on the plans, it doesn't show where the storage area will be. It was on the site.
Right.
So when I drafted, when I draft the special conditions, which I can do in the morning, I did state that we would like to that we'll have the storage area outside the 50-foot zone, because it was kind of in this area. It was in this area over here, close to the retaining wall, and that grassy area where it's mostly flat. And if we needed anything in regards to in a revised plan, we could always request that, and then I could just hold on to order until those were received if the commission so feels that it is necessary. The other item that was discussed, I think me and Jess were talking about this, is we're trying to get away from silk fence as much as possible. It's not so much of a concern with this site because obviously the neighbors aren't going to want it there, but it tends to get left.
Yeah.
So we're trying to just do either silt socks or just wattles, and with this one, maybe a construction fence because it's pretty flat where they're working. They're not going to be doing too much that we have to worry about having this silk fence.
Yeah.
So I know there might be a note on the plans. I think there's a note for silk fence, but just we might need to add siltation, a construction fence
fencing. Sure.
to keep things away from the shoreline.
Yeah.
Those are the only two things that I could think of that we didn't really need revised plans for, but if the commission feels that we needed them to add those, this may just be a quick note, but I don't feel like that was necessary, but those are the only two things I could think of for conditions for the site, if they have any other, if you guys have any other thoughts. Outside of our
With
normal
regards to
realm.
the material storage though, so not the material, the spoil storage.
Yes.
But you had the material rectangle basically layered, outlined. I think if you put the slate, because I know the neighbor or the homeowner indicated they possibly would want to use for something else.
Okay.
So either next to or behind that material storage.
Yep.
And then potentially the spoil storage immediately next to it.
Okay.
Versus, I think Heather, kind of where your cursor is now, that's a little too far down from what I remember.
Yeah, was it closer over here?
No, it was more toward the fence in the front. That.
Oh, yeah, the fence isn't really, oh yeah, it's right, you're right, it was, more up in here.
So the idea of put any spoils
Yeah.
in here,
Mhm.
and then maybe, because I know there's like a tree or two here, but then also the fact
Yeah,
that
I think,
you have
you're
the-
right, I think it was,
You know, he could put his slate like over here next to that tree or whatever, just
Sure.
kind of
Yeah.
just store it up and out of the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just move the material storage as far away from the 50-foot line as reasonably possible.
Okay.
I'm not that worried about materials from that though. You, George?
No.
Yeah. So, it just is what works.
And then the other piece too, I guess there was a little confusion when we were there, understanding the tear down of the breezeway/shed and then the reinstallation. So the thick black box where you have proposed addition, all of that foundation that's under whatever's under that shed is all going to be ripped out, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
You're going to put a full foundation under for the new proposed shed.
Yeah.
The pad that's proposed at the end, is that going to be an extension of that? Or is it just going to be a separate little pad like for a step?
It's essentially a ramp. So I think there's an existing kind of ramp that is there, just to.
So there really wasn't a ramp because this is a tad deceiving in the sense that
The current shed goes right to the back of the garage.
Yeah.
And so, again, when I initially looked at it, I'm thinking, okay,
yeah.
where's this proposed pad? And
the guy was explaining, well, it's underneath because we're shortening the shed length.
Okay.
And that was
yes.
misunderstood.
So it's going to expose that
Yeah.
Okay.
section. Yeah.
Okay. So, but it's going to be a little bit of a ramp coming down, so they're going to have, what, like a double door or something?
Yes,
Drive a
yeah,
long
exactly.
tractor up and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. And that was just, like I said, it took us a little bit to understand exactly what was happening there.
That's
but
right.
Now we got it. That's all I had. Thanks.
Okay. John, you weren't there, but any observations?
Nope. Seems pretty straightforward.
So, this would be a vote to approve the notice of intent and draft the
Yeah,
order of conditions.
I have the order of conditions ready. I
do.
will use the standard order template we have for our special conditions, and I will add the note to ensure that all storage of
Construction material.
construction stockpiling will be as far outside the 50-foot as possible. And with the thought to have some line of construction fencing to do the limit to ensure the limit of work outside the next to the wattles.
Yeah.
unless there's anything else to add to those two outside of the normal ones we have.
Okay. Any comments?
I think that's good.
Okay, so at this point, entertain a motion to approve the notice of intent and issue the order of conditions with the special conditions as Heather just outlined.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the chair votes aye, so it passes.
All right, thank you very much.
Good night, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next up is the continued request for determination, the Air Department of Public Works for culvert removal close to Grove Pond off of Bly Street in Peroni Park. We also did a site walk for this project last Saturday. What was the date of last Saturday? Today's the
23rd.
23rd. We did a sidewalk there for the 23rd. Did a little bushwhacking to get to the culvert. It was all pretty grown over. A lot of invasives were observed. An awful lot of invasives were observed.
What kind?
Honeysuckle,
Honeysuckle.
bittersweet, and autumn olive.
Yeah.
Russian.
Those are the. I'm sure there was more, but those are the three that I noticed.
Yeah. So they'd have to do a little bit of clearing to get some equipment in.
Mm-hmm.
And there doesn't look like there'd be many trees that would come down. There was one right on the edge of the area,
Yeah.
edge of the bank that's dead already, and some other stumps that are coming up. So it does not look problematic, but it does look like this would have to be, given the nature of the work, would have to be a notice of intent.
Yes.
So, what we are considering here is to issue a positive determination of applicability, which means the Wetland Protection Act will apply, and they need to submit a notice of intent.
If you'd like, I go through the determination. So there's a list of
Take it
reasons.
away, Heather.
Yes, so there's the reasons why we do a positive. So under for this particular project, I checked off a positive determination for the first one, which is the area described on the reference plan is in an area subject to the protections of wetlands to the act, removing, filling, dredging, or altering of the areas requiring and filing of notice of intent. And I also did a number 3, which is the work described on reference plan and documents within the area subject to protection under the act will remove, fill, alter, and judge. Therefore, the said work requires a filing of a notice of intent. There's other ones that apply, but I feel like that's enough that we can justify that we do not need that. And
Yeah.
Matt did mention while we were on site, the town engineer, that he understood that that was most likely going to be the case. And when we do go through that filing of a notice of intent, which they believe they can do the engineering for that in-house, I think he said, then we can go through and hopefully give them a site visit so you, John, can come, and whoever our new person comes for that, so we can go through and understand what we can do for hopefully some invasive removal and maybe some more native planting in the area at that time.
And we wanted to see some detail on grading down the bank as well, so that it would be a good slope.
And just as a side note for that, if anyone realizes the area, because there's that culvert there has been beaver activity in the area. So to replace the culvert would probably just get plugged with beavers. So it's easier to leave it as an open channel.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And this was initially an open channel. It looks like, or at least what we heard was that was sort of an artificial road created and crossed over the stream and created the culvert for some tree stump.
Yeah, it was stumped out.
Stump dump, yeah. That's no longer in effect, and so it does make sense to return this to its normal, its original condition. Any comments from Mark or George?
I guess the only thing is you're saying that now, I kind of wonder, would DPW want access to the other side, and is there access from Bly at all?
I think if they would need access over there, they would want to keep the culvert in. I think at this point, it would make more sense to open the stream up on a conservation standpoint, DEP standpoint. We want everything to be open. We don't want to cover
No, I
the
agree
stream.
with that. I'm just saying in the future,
In the future.
6 months, 9 months, 2 years down the road, they say, oh, we need to get over there. And I thought the fence was, again, not too far.
Yeah,
So it wasn't a big property.
yeah,
but
the fence isn't too far from the
Can they-
abutting property.
Can they get at it from Black Street then?
They could always clear along Blythe Street to get in there if they need to. And I think anything they would need to get in there to do would more or less just be on foot. I don't think they would need to bring equipment in. And if that was the case, I think the channel is narrow enough they could probably put plates over for temporary access if needed.
Okay. I guess I'm just thinking, let's just confirm with them that
Yeah.
they might not have an anticipated future use
Yeah.
that
Is that property
they
where
should
the
think about that.
stump dump was? Is that town property?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So,
thought that was posed to Matt at the last meeting, to ask him if he wanted access to that.
Did we?
Yeah,
Maybe we
I think
did.
we
I just
did.
don't remember.
I thought we did.
Yeah, I think we did. And
And
even
he-
if
If we could just confirm it.
yeah, and even if they didn't, I think to replace the culvert would still be a notice of intent anyway.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll confirm that with them when I tell them this is in their box.
yeah, so they'll have to address it
My
eventually.
job is long-term planning on a daily basis, so it's like,
Yeah,
right now I don't really care
I do
about it.
the
I
same-
want
I
to
do
take that
the
out,
same
right?
thing.
It's like, well, what are you doing 5 years from now? Like, is that going to be the next senior center? I mean, I don't know.
Oh gosh, that'll be flood storage is what it's gonna be.
Okay, so any other comments or questions? Okay. All right, so George, would you like to make a motion?
Move to issue a positive determination for the culvert removal on Blythe Street, Brony Park.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And chair votes aye, so. Okay, so on that one, we now wait to hear from the DPW on their next step.
Yes.
Next, we have Conservation Office and member updates.
Yes. So first off, and this came in a perfect time, the Stratton Hill project, they finally have gotten their approval to move the turtle nesting area from the proposed location that was done when this subdivision went back before the planning board and before the Conservation Commission, which we will show you on the lovely plans. So the which makes sense, we went on site, we didn't talk about moving it because the current site is over here, which is going to be what is going to be deeded over to the town. That's in the middle of the existing cart path.
Yeah.
We all always discussed about moving it to the top of the proposed road where we'd already started seeing turtle nesting as it was. So that is the plan. So this just shows the existing notice of intent. And this plan will show you where we're going to be doing they're going to be doing the proposed turtle nesting area. The question from the engineer, Frank from Dillis and Roy, was how the commission would like to condition this. It was already in the order of conditions to have the turtle nesting area at the old location. And he didn't know if moving it to the new location, given the extent of the work, because there is an isolated wetland there next to the larger one, if we would entertain an amended order of conditions or need a whole new notice of intent. In my opinion, it was always the plan that we hoped it would move.
Yeah.
Amended.
So I thought it would be an amended order, but since it all lucked out that he asked me this question today, I figured I would bring it to you all too, and also so you would know it's coming, that has happened. And also to this point too, when I had walked the site with Fish and Wildlife, we all made the same comment too, that it would make sense to move. So they even did, on the state side, not DEP, but on the state side, in that office, they agreed to that aspect as well. So.
Now, is that where the pile of dirt was
Mm-hmm.
that had the eggs on it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it wasn't over to the right.
No,
Okay.
it was at the top of the slope. So where the egg, the pile might have been over in like this area or over here, but they're I think looking at making this whole
It's
area.
probably the pile right there.
It's probably these piles right here.
Yeah.
So I think they're looking at putting it in this area anyway, which I think they just needed to verify that it was a viable area. I
Gotcha.
think they agreed as well. We all agreed that because it was already nesting there, that
Yeah.
makes the most sense not having it in the middle of a cart path that we're going to try to use for open space.
Totally.
So they are moving it on the plans, but,
Correct. They're going to move
but
out the
they're
plans.
keeping it in the location the turtles already think it should stay in.
Yes.
Yes.
So we just so I just wanted to just verify that with
Yeah.
you all. It made sense. We'd all already talked about it, but wanted to let you know that
It's
that
like they
is
took the input from the residents.
Yeah, they,
yeah, a whole different set of precedents.
or I could say they're trying to put one over on us. It's a shell game.
There you go.
Oh, chess.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Also this afternoon, and I apologize, I didn't have my phone to take pictures. I went over to 117 Oak Ridge Drive. That house is currently for sale, and the owner slash broker for the property had asked about removing some trees on the site. Let's see if I can get a good aerial or something of it. So I went out, I did mention to them about, this is the house, about what they wanted to do. I'm going to try to get, it would be better if we did an aerial shot, but
Is this on the pond side?
it's right on the pond side.
Okay.
Let's see.
These healthy trees?
They are looking to remove, I met with the gentleman that's going to be hopefully contracted to do the work, and mentioned to them that we do like to try to keep a 6 to 8 foot stag. They agreed that that would be doable. There's 2 trees that they are going to take out, and it's not the full tree. I mean, it's they have quite a bit of woods back there. I mean, this is unfortunately the best they can do. 2 of the trees are oaks. The trunk has split on the lower side, so one branch is leaning over. They're going to take that trunk that's leave the rest, and still leave that stag. Just the property owner is just afraid that if anyone ever wander back there and that falls, it's a big trunk, it could hurt somebody. So they're going to take just enough to leave that arch is gone and it's still standing straight up.
Yeah.
There's a second oak closer to the house doing the same. They did ask about removing or limbing some trees that are over by the water. I told them they could not do that because as soon as they take limbs away that are overshadowing the pond, then you're changing the dynamic of the pond. So there is one pine, I called it the funky limb pine. It was just this pine with just hundreds of just dead and weird limbs. And they're gonna limb that tree up quite a bit and make it look prettier. And I told them that was as far as they could go. They couldn't touch any trees further than that. That was probably a good 10, 15 feet from the pond. Everything else that they're gonna limb is closer to the house. And there's only removing those 2 trees. I did mention to him about doing administrative approval for that. And I would let you guys know what I had saw on site, and I apologize for not taking pictures. It is there was quite a few trees back there. I think they're limbing 6 trees. They're not taking the trees out, they're just cutting the limbs to get the roof line so the house has a view of the pond, is what the owner would like. I have it,
And
the
they're
house is on
generally
the
all
market.
oaks.
Well, they're oaks and pines.
Okay.
And then when you look down below that, where they're taking the big trunks out, there's little oaks trying to sprout up. Like, oh, this will just grow in its place. I did mention to him about the possibility of hoping them to replant something in its place if they could. I think whoever does purchase this house, because of how the backyard is, it's lawn and then just drops, and then it goes through all of these trees with random some minor shrub, but there's barely anything over there. There's just some shrubbery. It's just all trees all the way to the water. So I think whoever does purchase it, we might be seeing them come back to us for something as far as fixing up that that, because it does just drop, there's no retaining wall or anything there, to make it more of a usable yard or something. I think I could feel something like that happening with this property. But I think allowing them to just trim up some of those trees, all it's gonna do is daylight some of the stuff that's growing underneath. There's not much vegetation there. There is quite a few trees already out there. Like I said, they're gonna take 2 trunks out of a split tree and then limb about 6 other ones, just to the roof line. But if it's something that the commission would like to go out and see or have an RDA done on, I will let the owner know.
So it's the current owner that wants to do this?
Yes, so I believe, so the way it must look like is whatever the person bought it and then is selling it, or the person who owned it is now selling it.
Mhm.
But yeah, the broker on the house is also the owner.
What do you all think?
It seems like there's a lot of trees there.
You're-
To take a little bit down, to do a little vista trimming is, it's okay with me.
I would say there was one limb that, when you're standing in the backyard, is like in your face, and I'm like, oh yeah, you gotta take this in, because you couldn't even walk through your backyard without dodging an oak limb. So that one to me makes sense. So I mean, they might take out more than I would like, but if as a homeowner and I wanted to see the pond, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
We're leaving the
they're
whole trees.
not taking the trees down.
nope.
What we're seeing is the upper foliage, so it's definitely still going to be there. It's just the lower,
Mm-hmm.
the understory, I guess,
Yeah,
as you call
and
it.
I,
right?
so I did. Yeah, and I did want them to
and-
make sure they could not
Yeah. And
limb
the reason I
anything
asked
over the
about
water.
the oaks is because oaks, a lot of times you get those lower dead limbs.
Yep.
It's just like
Oaks and pines, you get those
yeah,
lower
they
dead
constantly
limbs.
fall
Yeah.
and they're hurting people and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
And they seemed fine about leaving the 2 branch trunks they want to take out, about leaving that stag. I said, it's not just to, get the arch, but, leave the rest.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay. All right, awesome. Just want to let them know
Okay.
that. And then,
So you're going to do an administrative approval on
yes,
that one?
administrative
Yes.
approval on those. Yep, and I will make sure I write in there that they can't do anything as far as beyond what we had scoped, those 6 trees with the 2 trunks. Nothing over the water, no limbs over the water, nothing beyond the pine that we mentioned on site. And if they do anything above and beyond that, it would be considered a violation.
Okay.
Just it's a little warning. I don't think I need to do that, but
Hey,
just
hey, can you
anything
take a look
beyond
once they're
beyond that
done?
would need to come back to the commission for approval.
Can you take a look at it once it's done then? too?
Yeah, I will ask to take a look at it once it's done. Yep. What else we got? On June 2nd, so next Tuesday, Water and Wetlands will be doing their pre-treatment survey. I did email the town manager's office to just verify the parks, interim parks director, Jerry's email address, so I can let them know. I always like to let the parks department know in case they ever get any questions.
Do you know when they're going to open this year?
No idea. Usually it's after school gets out. They
Yeah.
open up full time
Okay.
because the lifeguards are usually in school. But I don't know. I don't think there's been any announcement.
Okay.
June 2nd, they're just doing
The pre-treatment survey. I think they're doing the pre-treatment survey and the
They do an
Water
early
samples?
treatment. Don't they do?
they're not doing a treatment on that?
let me double check my email, because now that you said that, I think they are doing a treatment.
Yeah, there's an early. I think it's Fanmore.
Because they've got it posted right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they do already posted? Good.
Nice green signs.
Oh, I got so many emails today, and I don't know what I do with it. I apologize. So they might be doing the sonar treatment.
Yeah.
I think they do that with their pre-treatment.
Yeah, because there's one thing they want to get in early,
Mm-hmm.
and we want them to get in early. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, my apologies. Oh wait, is it here? Nope. There it is. Notify the water wetland survey and water quality sampling at Sandy Pond. So the surveys and water quality sampling at Sandy Pond and initial sonar treatments, yes, will be on the
Okay.
yeah. So they're doing the water sampling, the survey, and the initial sonar treatment on Flanagan Pond and Sandy Pond.
Mhm.
But they're doing, yeah, okay, so that's Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday I will be out of the office attending the MSMCP annual conference in Shrewsbury. one of the workshops this time is reviewing stormwater reports. So that'll be fun. Those are long and lengthy. And I think the other one we're going to try to do is a scavenger hunt, which we'll see how many things I can find. But that is Tuesday, so I will not be in the office for that. Anything else? Just as a rundown, just so the commission knows what's going on, Lincoln Hills has submitted 2 building permits, I think 2, for up there, and the majority of their, I think they're looking at doing, Dina gave an update on the work on there, they're going to be looking at doing paving, and then next few weeks, binder coat of paving the next few weeks, and the site contractor Onyx should be completely done their work by mid-July.
And they're the ones that've been doing all the lasting.
The site work,
clearing,
yep.
Site work.
Yep, so it'll be strictly housing construction come
So they'll be done mid-July?
mid-July is the
Okay.
hope, I think, at this point. And everything that stormwater that has gone in has all been inspected by Green International
Okay.
in the town. So there's that. I think Stratton Hill is starting to pull building permits as well. They were working on the
Okay.
numbering of that.
So there've been quite a number of Cataldo dump trucks going up in there
Mhm.
loaded. Is that fill for, do we know what that's for?
I don't.
Okay.
I can ask.
Yeah, just find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then some of you may have seen, they've installed the traffic lights for West Main Street, the West Main Street Bridge, to start closing that down to 1 lane.
Do you know when that's going to be?
I know they installed, when I drove by Wednesday, when did I go? Brownfields. Wednesday. When I drove by yesterday, they had they were installing the traffic lights, and I think once they were fully installed, they would start working. So I have
Okay.
noticed the traffic had been worse, that they were actually
Yeah.
in there, but it's coming.
Yeah, I was coming back from my vet in Shirley today, and I thought, usually I have a shortcut through getting over to West Main. I thought,
Yeah.
nope, not today.
Yeah, no,
Not anymore.
it's coming. So
Hey.
everything's moving forward.
On Stratton Hill, when they're pulling building permits, is that initially just for infrastructure, road?
No, building permits are for the houses.
Okay, they're ready with some lots already for that.
I know they were working on the numbering of it. It just Sam had
Okay.
asked me in the building department. I don't know if she just wanted to know for reference when they do start pulling them, because Lincoln Hills had, or if they were ready to pull them. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I know they were shut down for the winter. But they had. I mean, last time I was out there, they had were working on the big basin in the large basin that was closest to Long Pond. So
Yeah, and they've also been, as you go in, the first entrance,
Mhm.
they've been
First entrance.
pulling down that steep cliff.
Yeah.
They've been grading
yeah,
that, I
because
think.
there's going to be the one entrance.
Yeah.
So yeah, so everyone's busy, everyone's working.
All right, anything else?
No, but beyond the Orion Park, we don't have anything coming down the horizon at this point.
Okay. Member updates.
Just a question about Air Solar 2.
Oh, yes, thank you for bringing that up. Adam Costa reached out to me earlier this week about the conservation restriction. Well, they reached out a month ago. I'm asking about ready to sign. He did, I think, earlier this week or into last week, sent the CR ready to be signed and voted on by the town, the select board and the conservation commission. I emailed him back asking where the baseline was, because it would be nice to have that ready to approve while we go through with the CR. And I heard back from him today, and he sent it. And it's the same one we'd seen from like a few years ago without signs up. It just says, oh, proposed sign here, proposed sign there. So I was going to ask, and thank you for mentioning, so I can ask you guys too, if this is appropriate, since we have North County Land Trust helping us with our CRs, sending them that draft baseline and ensure that they're okay with it and assume that it's acceptable. before, because I personally don't feel comfortable having the town approve the conservation restriction without the baseline being done and complete, because I don't know what's going to hold. We can't do the monitoring of a CR without the baseline.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
afraid, since everything else that's happened with that site, as soon as we get approvals of something or they grant something, we just don't hear from them for years.
Yep.
And I just don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
So I was going to send that question.
Well, who's going to hold the CR? Is that
So
going to be the town?
The
or?
town, the commission holds the CR.
So we'll hold the CR, and we're commissioning North County to do the
The
monitoring
monitoring,
for
yeah.
us.
So I was
Yeah.
going to reply back to Attorney Costa and ask if he minded if I'd, since North County Land Trust is going to be doing our monitoring for us, if he minded if I sent the baseline to them for verification that it meets their some of their standards for the monitoring going forward.
I
And
would-
hope that's not
Yeah, well, that's good.
too contentious.
No, I'd phrase it that the commission would like to get feedback.
Yes,
since
that's
feedback from
Mhm.
North County before it
Yeah.
considers signing.
Yes, I mean, I'd done that
Yeah.
with, I think, another one when we were looking at doing something. I said, oh, do you mind? I think it was the draft. He goes, oh, do you mind if I send it to North County just to verify that it has everything we need? And they didn't mind, so I'm hoping
Yeah.
I can get with the baseline and
Yeah.
that they'll be okay with it in hopes that we can get it through the finish line.
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds good.
thank you
That's it
for
for me.
reminding me.
George?
Oh, keep going.
Heather?
And I keep going, and I'll tell you my thing after.
Mark?
I got nothing.
I
ordered
have
our-
a couple things.
I
but-
ordered our message board today.
Okay.
Takes 5 to 6 weeks to come in. If I don't hear anything from them by the beginning of the second week of June, I will ask them if they could just invoice us because I was able to get it a PO for it.
Yeah.
So I'll ask them to invoice us for it
This
before the end of
fiscal
the
year.
fiscal year. It's going to be delivered to the DPW. Dan did allow to have it sent there and stored there for a little while. And Chuck, the facilities director, did offer to help us install it. If you look at the message board that's out here at Town Hall, which is going to be similar to what we're going to be getting, and what's currently at Pine Meadow, both signs on Oak Ridge and on Groton Harbor, those are a little bit wider, but they're not as tall as far as the
Mhm.
surface of the board. So I think we should be fine in getting everything to fit, no problem.
Okay,
So I was very happy to have that done this morning.
excellent.
Exciting.
All right, I had two things. One, I can't even remember who called me on this, but there is a big growing infestation of knotweed
Everywhere.
everywhere, but this is coming off of Wright Road, turning left onto Snake Hill.
Oh, phew.
That lot with the down trees in the back.
Oh, Artie's okay.
And
Just jumped across the street.
it's jumped across the street into that stream, the little streamlet that comes into Sandy Pond. So is there anything we can, I know I said that it's, part of our issue is that's private property.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Private property. You said it's private property.
yeah.
So what am I going to do on private property?
So that would be, some of that, on one side it's the gun club, right? On the other side it's that log cabin house, right? I think,
The little parking areas, gun club.
yeah.
Yeah. Everything, it's gun club. Mine directly across the street, yeah. Yep.
Okay,
Well, it's just,
we can't do things on private property generally.
we cannot.
unless there's
And knotweed is one of those ones where, I mean, as far as being like, oh, we could try to see if we could find somebody to come in and hold some sort of workshop for, residents. They can figure out how to remove invasives, but knotweed's one of these ones where I could do that, but it's not going to do anything. I mean, I pull it outside here at Town Hall.
Yeah, Comes right back.
It comes, yeah, it gets, when I was on vacation, I did it all, and then I went on vacation, and it was, some starts were this high, and I had to go out again in my clippers, and then I pull it out, and thankfully, it's a small section that hopefully if I keep up with it, in 4 or 5 years, it'll be gone, but it's one of those things where it's just a constant hand pulling, or you have to completely dig it out, or just herbicide it.
It's a Sisyphean task.
Yeah.
Continually rolling the boulder up the
So
hill.
it's, I mean,
Yeah.
love to get rid of it, but I mean,
Yeah. Not much we can do there.
Do goats like it?
Hmm?
Do goats like it?
I don't know,
Yes.
but I
don't
wonder
think
if a
we have
goat
any
would
goats
eat it
in
though.
town.
It's something because I know I've heard people say that they've taken it and like left it in a pile or whatever, or burned it, but didn't get 100%, and it still rebooted itself. But I'm wondering if a goat eat it, would somehow manage to still reboot itself if it pooped.
Grow out of the goat.
I mean, it goes through pool liners, like.
Yeah. It's persistent.
It's persistent, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, the little baby stuff you can use it as rhubarb.
Yeah.
How does it stay in check wherever it came from initially? How does it not just take over?
I don't know. That's a good question for Japan, I guess. It's Japanese knotweed? I don't know. I don't know. Probably because it's native to that vegetation, so it doesn't. Everything else that's there, it doesn't compete with. It's kind of like our native plants here, where they tend to work in a balance.
Yeah.
Whereas it comes here, it doesn't have something else competing with it. It competes with it all. But yeah, I mean, I can work on getting some information out on the website and online about invasives, and if people spot them, things that they might be able to do, whether it's not necessarily knotweed, even if it's knotweed, and they just cut it down in hopes that we can, and make sure that if they do remove it, they're not putting it in mulch piles that they're indeed, I mean, unfortunately, basically throwing it away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think Beth Sudemeyer has said in her updates at CPC meetings that the Nashua River Watershed Association is starting to have workshops on
They
a
are.
regional approach to
Mhm.
invasive vegetation. So
Yes, they are. You attended that one time, and that was
Yep.
more or less like pick an area, pick an invasive you can handle, and work off of that. Where when I look at the knotweed, I go, we can't. It's too much.
Yeah.
I look at a it's too much autumn olive. But
There was that one gentleman that I think it was from Groton, who's got a license to
yes,
be able to
yeah.
put down herbicide, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very interesting because he was saying that they actually take sections and they treat it controlled. And he was saying that you cut it off, Roundup in one, a little bit of Roundup, a lot of Roundup. And he was saying it was fascinating how it responded to the chemicals. Like you'd think a lot of Roundup would be more effective, but it's not for some reason. It's just a little bit of Roundup. Is that something that we need in?
I did ask Dan, DPW, if they had anyone that had their herbicide license. They said no. So I was inquiring about applying from looking at getting my applicator's license because I feel like somebody in town should have it.
Yeah.
It's something I got some information on it from other agents. Maybe I'll see one of them on Tuesday. I know who has it if she does come to the conference. Katie, she used to be the director in Stowe. And then pursue that, and then we at least have it. It's just a matter of like, okay, once we do, if I do able to get it, it's like, okay, then what do I try? I feel like I do Mark's spot on Central Lab, that one little batch there,
Yeah, you'll
because
be able to take it out.
try to entertain it and get rid of it there and see if we get it to work or something like
Yeah.
that. But I will double check on the applicator's license and try to get that process going. Every time I see it, I go, that's what
I
Mark
know.
told me about.
It's doing
would
quite
be-
well.
Would Roundup be usable by that, very close to wetlands?
That's
That's
the
other-
thing. So I'm looking at like, oh, where could I use it? Because I don't want to do anything on Grove Pond,
Yeah.
especially because it's just a steep slope to me. That and that's where it's tricky, where it grows on Grove Pond, because tarping is the other thing. But I'm like, if we tarp it, then that whole slope is then just going straight to the water. So I'm like, how do we do this?
Yeah.
So I think it's a matter of finding a area, whether I get the application license or not, how long that takes, finding a spot that we could test stuff at
Mhm.
that is on town property and figure out what works best and then move from there. Whereas I think that spot on Central Ave, being in the town's right of way on the side of the road, isn't, I mean, it's across the street from the pond, but not really, and it's one of those areas where we could, that it wouldn't affect anything, that would be a good, spot to try stuff.
I mean, within 24 hours, it's dried. It's into the
Mm-hmm.
into the vegetation. It's not gonna.
No.
It's not like it's gonna weep off.
No,
or
that's
anything.
the concern people have when you do use, that it stays in the dirt.
Yeah.
Whereas that area, I think, would be, if we were to try that, but we'll work on that.
All right, and last on mine would be, this is Mark Phillips' last meeting with the commission as he moves on out of Ayer. And I'd like to thank you for your, how many years have you been on the commission now?
I don't know. Too many.
Too many.
What are you gonna do with your Thursdays?
But I know I've appreciated everything you've contributed over the years.
No, you're welcome. And again, it's been great, a good learning experience for me. And like I was saying in the email, hopefully I've had a positive impact on some things
Oh, yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
you did. It's been fun. Appreciate working with all of you.
You and John installed all your the waterway signs.
Yeah.
And what is it? We have that over on Willow Road, the highway, state highway. They had to put in that storm scepter.
they put in the drain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the enhanced stormwater there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
A little vocal on our drinking water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last on our agenda would be public input. We have,
Nothing today.
Is it okay? I just talk from here.
We
I
won't be able to hear
Yeah.
on camera,
Yeah.
that's the only problem.
Gosh.
You got a little buddy with you tonight?
and who is this? State
This
his
is Leonidas.
Leonidas?
Oh, that's weird. I had to bring him today, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I figured you guys
So
would.
this is the one group I don't think we'd mind.
Thank you
Actually,
so
I used to bring my old golden retriever to CPC meetings,
much.
and in her advanced age, she had doggy gas under the table and
You're blaming it on the dog, huh, Jess?
Yeah.
blamed it on the dog.
So,
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Madam Chair. Rachel Kazera, Groton Harvard Road. I just had a question. The Roundup situation. Has the town ever administered pesticides in that manner? And just with, I just feel that there's a lot of
Yeah.
other things that are going on in the town, and there's a lot of, I mean, I know personally, you guys were talking about the pickup trucks coming up and down, and there's just been a lot of like gross dust and residual things in the
Yeah.
air. So I just wonder if, we're bombarding the town already with debris and dust and everything like that. So if we're adding, I just wonder, if the town hasn't done this before, why now?
We're not doing it right now, but
Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
just, somebody had contacted me about a knotweed area on Wright Road and Snake Hill Road, and it's private property.
Mhm.
And we would have issues with doing anything within the buffer zone to the water anyways. So, but Heather's been, Mark pointed out a site on Central Avenue, a little patch, and
yeah,
that's not right by the pond, and it would be a good place to just experiment a little bit.
And the thought is not to go ahead and, oh, someone gets their their application license, to go ahead and then now we're going around and spraying everything in the town. It's just on the aspect of if there was an invasive species or a management plan that we wanted to implement, it saves the town money and time to have a staff member have that license, because then we're covered by the town's insurance and having to spend the money and hire a outside person to then do that work. So if it was somebody in town, then it could be, okay, let's try, if I just did this little bit here, does it work? Because we don't really want to have to use that, but to have somebody on town staff, whether it's the DPW, myself, or somebody else in town, have it, it gives the town the ability to then spot treatment on things that we can try, whether it's right outside of town hall here on a rock bed, as opposed to, I would never go on Grove Pond and do anything, that would never do anything on Long Pond. It's something like that.
Gotcha.
To just verify, because in some instances the invasive is worse than the treatment to get rid of it. In regards to whatever.
Or wait, do you mean the reverse of that?
Before you know
The
it.
invasive is worse than the treatment for it.
Okay,
It doesn't take long.
Hence why we use the herbicides in the pond
right.
to get rid of the pond,
Yeah.
the aquatic pond invasives is the same reason. Those invasives will do more damage in the pond than the treatments that we put in it.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just and then just with regard to the chemical retention within the soil, you mentioned that it would stay.
Some people have those fears that it does that. When you go for your applicator's license, there's a bunch of training, everything that goes along with it, and how to use it and stuff like that. And there has been a talk about how that when you do a spray, that's when it goes in the soil. When you do specific applications, sometimes you're just painting.
Specific.
You're just doing
Okay.
painting stems.
Yeah. Okay.
When it comes to knotweed, I've always heard the only way to actually get it to work, which painting the stem might work, was to act. What I was always told was to physically inject the herbicide directly into the stalk to go into the root.
Oh wow.
And the thought is that might stay in there.
Mhm.
But I do have a fun book, and this would be another whole experiment, that there's certain plants that will take chemicals out of the soil and they absorb them. So it would just be a whole experiment like that.
Okay.
Peanuts do that. They take the toxins out
Yeah.
of the soil.
So it would be an experiment in that if we did have those. But unfortunately, the town can't use UMass Extension to do soil tests, but residents can.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to test your soil to find out what's in it and what kind of fertilizers or whatever, if needed, you can send soil samples to UMass Extension
Also, do you know
Not the
the,
knotweed though, you gotta
Yeah.
get it,
as it's growing.
you gotta trim it, let it flower, because it's putting all its energy into
Mhm.
the flower. Then take the flower out and inject it, as you said, like the second week of August, because then that's when it's trying to suck the stuff
Yep.
down, and that's when you gotta hit it.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
also for toxins in soil, you know those little, when you take up a log or stone and you see those little pill bugs or whatever you call them that roll
Oh
up,
yeah.
Roly-polies.
roly-polies, we call them
Potato.
potato bugs. Yeah,
Yeah.
in Buffalo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Western New York, it was potato bugs. They actually take up toxins out of the soil. I think I read that a year or
Yeah, I
so
saw
ago.
that somewhere recently.
Yeah,
too.
they're good for toxins. So how old is Leonidas? Leonidas?
Leonidas. He's about 6 months.
Yeah.
I was gonna say border collie.
He's mostly Australian Shepherd.
Oh,
They
okay.
said his mom is an Australian Shepherd. His dad is Mysteries.
Yeah, I had one just like you. I had
Australian
Shepherds and border collies.
Is he a rescue?
He's a rescue. Yeah.
A new acquisition?
Yes.
They are the best.
Well, thank you guys so much. Sorry for the distraction.
No, it's okay.
Take
It
care.
was a good distraction.
All right, if there is nothing else, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We adjourn at 7:53
4.
or 4. 7:54.